Now, the latest Marquette Law School poll out just days before the election, what the numbers are showing.
Also, what happens to an absentee ballot after it's been cast? We go through the chain of custody to find out.
And later in News 3 Now, Reality Check takes a look at the race for Attorney General and a couple of ads targeting each candidate. Welcome to News 3 Now at 6. We're now just 6 days away from Election Day, and the final Marquette Law School poll before the election shows we could be in for some tight races next week.
So let's take a look at numbers, starting with the race for governor. Among likely voters with Governor Tony Evers and Republican challenger Tim Michels, both are tied at 48 points with a margin of error at 4.8. Last month, Governor Evers had a 1-point lead. Moving on to the race for Senate, incumbent Ron Johnson has a 2-point lead over Democrat Mandela Barnes. That's 4 points closer from just a month ago, falling within the margin of error. The poll was conducted between October 24th and yesterday. If the polls are right about these races coming down to the wire, then every vote is going to matter, including those who voted absentee. There is a great deal of trust that goes into handing your absentee ballot over if you vote that way.
And tonight we are following the trail of one such ballot cast early in Madison. We're using our investigative reporter Naomi Coles as the guinea pig here. She cast her vote yesterday and shows you how a chain of custody keeps it secure until Election Day.
Hello, hello.
What's up?
I'm voting.
Oh, okay. Have a seat.
It's called early voting, but more technically,
See your ballot.
I'm early in-person absentee voting.
As soon as I leave, you start voting by touching the green dot.
And that's not a tabulating machine.
They don't remember anything.
This voting rarely needs lines and cuts out the hassle of waiting for your ballot to come and mailing it back. What is today's date?
11/01/22.
Thank you. It took me 5 minutes at most. But then what? Because my ballot won't be counted right away.
There's multiple stages in which we're verifying the witness. Sign, the voter sign, the witness address is there.
So we do lots of double checks.
When the day ends, election workers get started.
There's a double check.
They're counting ballots and registration forms, filling out this chain of custody document, and making sure there's no mistakes in signatures and addresses. Then it's into this red bag for safekeeping.
Goldenrod form that I put in
The
there.
only way that you could open it is by breaking that seal off there. And then so we ensure that that is documented, the seal number.
From there, the red bag makes its trip. In this case, it's by foot, just across the street to the clerk's central office. In other cases, it's on wheels from more than 30 voting locations around the city.
And yeah, we don't keep any ballots at a voting location overnight. It all comes back to our office not long after voting is over.
Then all that work happens again. Clerks count, sort, check the seal, fill out the chain of custody form. Then it's headed into the vault, which we can't show you.
There's locks on the door that only clerk staff have access to it, even though it's in city Madison property that no other agencies have access to that room other than the clerk's office. And there's video cameras that are filming the areas around that room.
24/7.
Yep.
In Madison for News 3 Now, I'm Naomi Coles.
And nothing gets counted before Election Day. After storage in the vault, the ballots make their final trip to your ward's polling place on Election Day, where clerks feed ballots into tabulating machines while people cast their votes on November 8th. And already, a lot of people have already cast their ballots. Edison Research and Catalyst says nearly 28 million people in 46 states have taken advantage of early voting. That has outpaced early voting numbers from the 2018 midterm election, but it's too soon to tell if overall turnout will reach historic levels. Let's check your certified most accurate forecast. Here's Julian Seawright. Julian?
Well, the good news is that our night is still rather nice and mild for us, even though clear skies are going to take hold as the sun is continuing to set for us here in Madison. Now, taking a look how things will be panning out over the next few hours. Well, this evening we are going to be looking at temperatures to slide into the 50s and really hold firm into the 50s by the time we get into the overnight. Only one takeaway to really watching for is a small development of some cloud cover. But as we lead into our Thursday, folks, we're still going to be having plenty of sunshine before we start to see those clouds building by the time we get into our Thursday night. Now, for tonight, we are going to be seeing temperatures fall into the lower 50s. But again, it's going to be pretty mild once again around for us around this time of year, because typically temperatures are within the 30s, the upper 30s, but we're still holding into the 50s as we get into the overnight hours. And for planning out tonight for us here in southern Wisconsin, 52 degrees for Janesville and 54 in Platteville. And again, we will start to see a couple of clouds building, but but as we get into tomorrow, we're still looking for a mild day, but we're definitely going to need to grab the rain gear, not necessarily for tomorrow, but for the back end of the work week as we're closing in for Friday and for Saturday. We'll be breaking down the impacts that you could be seeing in just a few moments. Until then, back to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. We've looked at a lot of different campaign ads covering the top 2 races this fall, the race for governor and U.S. Senate. But also on the ballot in less than a week will be the race for attorney general, the state's top cop.
Political reporter Will Keneally looks into the ads airing right now in the AG race.
We're going to take a look at 2 ads attacking both candidates in the race. We're taking a look at the first one here with Josh Call, attacking him on what it says is inaction in a murder case.
It was Halloween. My daughter stopped at 3 homes, her girlfriend's house, her teacher's house, and the man that murdered her.
This is the story of Lisa French, a 9-year-old who was murdered in Fond du Lac in the 70s. French's murderer, Gerald Turner, was convicted in 1975 and was released on parole a handful of times. He was sent back to prison for 15 years after violating his parole in 2003.
Eric Toney helped keep that man that murdered my daughter from being released. Eric Toney's always been there for me, and that's the kind of attorney general we need.
This is true. When Turner's sentence was coming up in 2018, Toney joined then AG Brad Schimmel in a petition to keep Turner confined.
Josh Call, he was not there for me at all.
The ad says that Josh Call did not help during the process. The petition itself was started before Call became Attorney General, and Call says that his agency has worked to keep Turner off the streets. We'll now take a look at the second ad targeting challenger Eric Toney over the issue of low bail.
Everyone makes mistakes, but Eric Toney's mistakes put us at risk.
Low bail has been a rallying cry for conservatives who are calling for the removal of Milwaukee DA John Chisholm. The ad alleges a similar instance slipped through Toney's office.
Tony's office allowed a 9-time felon out of jail who then murdered a fireman.
In this case, Reuben Houston was let out of Fond du Lac County Jail on a $500 bail. Shortly after his release, Houston went on to kill an Appleton firefighter in a shootout with first responders. But Toney says his office isn't to blame. That is rather the judge that set the lower bail, not anyone from his office. With this reality check, I'm Will Keneally.
You can find our full series online at channel3000.com.
A woman is in jail after a fight ended with her flipping her own vehicle. Madison police say the 30-year-old suspect was involved in a fight with another woman at Easttown Mall yesterday afternoon. The other woman tried to leave the scene in her vehicle as the other was leaving. Police say the suspect got into her own vehicle and chased after her, crashing into her multiple times. After repeated crashes, the suspect flipped her own vehicle. The other woman was able to get away. The suspect faces charges of 4 counts of second-degree recklessly endangering safety, damage to property, disorderly conduct, and reckless driving.
A 24-year-old woman accused of killing a man, then dismembering him, will soon get reevaluated by mental health professionals. Back in February, police say Taylor Shabusiness told them she and a friend were doing meth and having sex when she blacked out and started strangling him. She pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, but in May was found competent to stand trial. But the judge reviewed reports from 2 forensic psychologists and noted a line from the court-appointed evaluator.
It indicates, and I quote, "From a broader clinical perspective, I would encourage court officers to remain sensitive in the event of any signs of significant fluctuations in Ms. Shabusiness's overall mental status or behavioral stability. Such changes may signal fluctuations in her competency and warrant her re-examination."
Shabusiness's defense attorney says she's been on suicide watch for 2 months now, making it hard for him or anyone to meet her. He says Shabusiness has been diagnosed as bipolar and psychotic. She remains in jail on a $2 million cash bond.
Back in Madison, 2 vehicles damaged by a BB gun last night. Police were called to the area of East Washington at Blair Street just after 11 p.m. A caller said her vehicle's rear window was damaged while she was getting in. A short time later, another caller said their vehicle was struck by a BB gun in the area of East Wash at First Street. Police believe both incidents are connected. If you have any information about them, you're asked to call Madison Police or Crime Stoppers.
If you live on the city of Madison's west side, listen up. Police say they've seen a rise in car thefts and burglaries. Thieves have been caught on video opening unlocked cars to take personal items and guns, entering garages and stealing cars and entering homes. Those living on the west side are urged to keep an eye out for suspicious vehicles and call a neighbor if they notice their garage is open. Police Police say it's also a good idea to double check that vehicles and doors are locked before going to bed. Coming up, new developments in the opioid crisis, how some of the biggest retailers plan on settling the thousands of lawsuits filed.
And it just got much easier to receive antiviral COVID drugs in Wisconsin. The new service that'll help get sick people their medicine more quickly. That's next at 6.
Black November starts now at Ashley. For a limited time, save 55% on Beauty Rest Select Hybrid mattresses and receive a comforter, 2 pillows, and a 4-piece sheet set for free. And get 60 months special financing with no money down. Happening now only at Ashley.
A 12-year-old girl can't legally drive a car. At 12, she can't even vote. But if this little girl were tragically raped or a victim of incest and became pregnant, radical Tim Michaels would force her to deliver the baby. He said it's, quote, not unreasonable for the state government to mandate rape victims to give birth. Would it be unreasonable if he were forcing this on you? Let him know on Election Day.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal, come have a taste of Wisconsin.
America's Dairyland, as in real dairy. It gives Culver's fresh frozen custard its famous rich and creamy flavor. Like really rich.
So rich.
Rich and creamy.
And our cooked-to-order Butterburgers?
They're topped with, you guessed it, Wisconsin cheese. But it's the smiles we put on your face with every meal made just for you.
It really makes our hearts melt.
From Wisconsin with love. Welcome to Delicious.
Nice.
He pushed tax loopholes benefiting himself. Send him back, and he'll make things worse. Ron Johnson would let Wisconsin ban abortion, even in cases of rape, and said if you don't like it, you can move. He voted to raise the retirement age and wants to end guaranteed spending on the Social Security you earned.
Social Security is a legal Ponzi scheme, but that's exactly what it is.
Ron Johnson, still making it harder on us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Black November starts now at Ashley. For a limited time, take a bonus 20% off your purchase of $19.99 or more at checkout. Plus, get 60 months special financing, no minimum and no money down. Happening now only at Ashley.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. The Department of Health Services is launching COVID telehealth services for adults across the state today. The goal is to increase access to antiviral treatments for the virus. DHS is offering free consultation and prescription services for the treatments. The telehealth appointment lasts about 30 minutes and is free. Same for the medication. A clinician decides if you're eligible and in need of the drugs, then prescribes them immediately if you are.
We have ample supply of these medications, which puts us in a really good place should we need it, and make them as widely available as possible to patients who are appropriate and who are likely to benefit.
The prescription goes directly to your pharmacy of choice. If you can't get to a pharmacy, the state will ship the medicine overnight to your home. You can schedule an appointment through the DHS website or by calling the number on your screen right there. Clinicians are available 7 days a week between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m.
CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart have tentatively agreed to pay at least $12 billion to settle opioid lawsuits. According to Bloomberg, the lawsuits were brought by state and local governments. They allege that retailers mishandled prescriptions of opioid painkillers, and data shows the opioid crisis has claimed more than 500,000 lives over the past 2 decades, 80,000 of them in 2021 alone. When we come back, Veterans Day right around the corner. See how one local Vietnam veteran got an early thank you for his service.
Plus, a woman in Dane County is taking action after numerous reports of people getting hit by vehicles. How she's hoping to make things safer for pedestrians.
And this warm weather continues, but could we see rain by the end of the week? Julian's complete forecast after the break.
Hi, I'm Dr. Aaron Schwab, General Surgeon at Stoughton Health. If you suffer from bothersome or painful spider veins or varicose veins, please join us for our upcoming seminar where you can learn what new procedures may be able to help you.
I see your hard work, everything you do to try to make it, but people continue to be left behind. I'm running for Senate to put more money in your pocket. Ron Johnson's had 12 years to make things better. But costs are still rising, and all he's managed to do is write a tax cut for himself. I believe better is possible. I believe hard work can pay off, and I'll never stop fighting until it does. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Black Friday starts now at Steinhoffels. Time to get your home ready for the holidays. Save 35 to 70% off the entire store and take advantage of in-stock bonus buys while they last. Sofas for every style and budget. Mattresses for a great night's sleep. Dining sets big enough for the whole family. Queen beds of your dreams. It's all on sale during Steinhoffels Black Friday, starting now at Steinhoffels and steinhoffels.com.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Fall Workwear event is going on now. We're your one-stop shop for quality boots and apparel, offering fair and honest prices on workwear to help your hard-earned dollars go further. Right now, get $25 in Carhartt bucks for every $125 you spend on Carhartt gear, including these men's Carhartt Wedge boots with built-in support for any job site. All Wolverine and Catwork boots are $10 off, and men's Rustler jeans are just $14.99.
It was Halloween. My daughter stopped at 3 homes, her girlfriend's house, her teacher's house, and the man that murdered her. He molested her and he put her in a garbage bag. He was going to be released in 2018. Josh Call, he was not there for me at all. You want some help to find out what's going on, and he doesn't help. He don't care about the victims. I know Eric Toney does. Eric Toney helped keep that man that murdered my daughter from being released. Eric Toney's always been there for me, and that's the kind of attorney general we need.
If you suffer from bothersome spider veins or painful varicose veins, please contact us at Stoughton Health to learn about what new procedures may be able to help you. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Recently, we've been reporting on many stories of bicyclists and pedestrians getting hit by vehicles.
Well, now a Dane County woman is pledging to help prevent more of these things from happening. Our Catherine Merck is live in Oregon, where that woman lives. Catherine, what's her plan?
Laura Boydell says she was driving down this road when she nearly hit a jogger. That jogger, she says, was wearing dark clothing. And she said that close call caused her to take some action. Laura wrote on Facebook that she will buy a bag of reflective vests and put them out for people to be able to wear. She says this is her small way of making sure people know about the dangerous encounters that can happen with drivers, joggers, and bikers.
Maybe just seeing the vest will remind drivers to be careful and remind walkers, joggers, runners. I think as adults, we tell our kids to do that, but then we think we're invincible when we get bigger and grown up. And I just hope it'll do something.
Last week, a 71-year-old cyclist was hit and killed while riding on John Nolan Drive early in the morning. Laura referenced his death, among others, in her post. Laura plans to put a couple of those vests out here on Lincoln Road for people to be able to use by this weekend. Reporting in Oregon, I'm Catherine Merck with News 3 Now.
Catherine, thank you. A 150-year-old home in Dane County has a brand new roof tonight. Crews did it not because of the age of the building, but to honor the man who lives inside. Pete Ponte is a Vietnam veteran. He has lived in his home in Marshall for 50 years, and Ponte's friend heard about a local company offering a free roof for a veteran and nominated him. Ponte found out he was chosen a few weeks ago. Crews from Hines Contracting then showed up this morning to start the work.
We need more people like that to appreciate us more. And I'm overwhelmed by everything that they are doing for us.
Well, this is the third time that Hines Contracting has given away a free roof for a veteran for Veterans Day.
Let's now check back in with Julian for a complete look at your forecast.
Well, we're going to start things off by watching the surface map for us. We're looking at breezy and mild conditions that have been flooding much of the upper Midwest. Well, folks, we're going to be watching this mild conditions take hold once again for tomorrow. But this low, which is just near Canada and North Dakota, is going to start to move its way into the upper Midwest, and it's going to be changing things for us by the time we get into our Friday. But for tonight, we are looking at temperatures temperatures to fall into the lower 50s. It's going to be a mild one for us. 52 degrees in Madison and for Janesville, around 54 for Platteville. A little cooler just near Wautoma, but overall we're all going to be holding firm into those middle to lower 50s. Now as we take a look at what we're seeing condition-wise, heading into tomorrow, we're going to start off with plenty of sunshine for many of us here in southern Wisconsin, but by the time we get into our Thursday nights, we're going to start to see developments of cloud cover, but also notes, folks, it is going to be a windy day by the time we get into our lunchtime. Temperatures will be in the lower 70s for us here in Madison and for Janesville and Platteville, and into the upper 60s near the Dells and areas just to the central and northern side of Wisconsin. But let's walk through what we're going to be expecting overnight. Could see a couple of clouds develop, but they're going to dissipate by the time we head out the door tomorrow, and temperatures will be into the lower 70s, or 50s, excuse me. We're going to be looking at plenty of sunshine, but by the time we get into the lunchtime hour, winds from the south are going to really roll their way through and howl throughout much of our Thursday afternoon, bringing in some warmer temperatures. But as we get into our Thursday night, so we're going to start to see developments of some cloud cover, and as we get into the overnights transitioning into Friday morning, some spotty showers are going to develop, but then the scattered showers and potentially even thunderstorms will be here by the time we get into the lunchtime hour, mainly to the southwest and northwest of Dane counties, where we're going to be seeing the bands of storms that will be bringing in some heavier rainfall. But by the time we get into our late afternoon, that's when we're going to start to see it really start to flood its way into Dane County and throughout the course of our Friday evening as well. So if you have any plans Friday nights, there is still some high school football going on. Make sure that you have your rain gear and be aware for any potential lightning delays, because we're going to be seeing some of these showers and storms cluster throughout much of our Friday evening and going into our Friday nights, which is also going to lead into our Saturday morning as well. So we have the Badger game at 11 o'clock. We could be seeing some rainy conditions, and potentially an isolated shower or storm could be impacting the game by the time kickoff is ready to go as well. Outside of that, one thing we're going to be watching for is that we are estimating close to about 2 inches of rainfall, and we can't rule out 3, especially for us here in Dane County and areas just to the northeast. We're going to be looking at plenty of rainfall over the course of the 48-hour period, which is helpful for us because we are within the abnormally dry and even moderate droughts for us, especially just west of Dane County. But the 3 things we're going to need to know is temperatures are going to stay within the 70s for us, at least until Thursday, but then we're staying still unseasonably mild throughout the course of the weekend. Then on top of it, we're going to be looking at rain to roll into Friday and stick around until we get into our Saturday evening, and then above average temperatures will stick around as well as we take a look at our 10-day forecast. Heading into next week, temperatures are still going to be within the upper 50s and the lower 60s. But one thing to also remember, folks, we are setting our clocks back 1 hour from Saturday nights going into our Sundays. So make sure you're also replacing your fire alarm batteries. That's going to do it for weather, but what's coming up in sports? Zach.
Well, Jim Leonard knows he can get the job done if that interim label is removed. His plan for the future of Wisconsin football is next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
What you see is important. How you see is important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see.
Enjoy great savings this month and get 33% off a complete pair of glasses.
You protected our rights, preserved our freedom. You may have even risked your life for us. Now, it's our turn to fight for you. Your local Wisconsin emergency, energy, and housing assistance providers, and the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund reward the service of our veterans with rental and energy support in their time of crisis. Apply today to get the fresh start you've earned.
Keep bragging about your buck after the hunt with wild game processing from Johnson's Sausage Shop in Ryle, Wisconsin. Friends enjoy a hunting story more over a jalapeno cheddar stick. Johnson's Sausage Shop accepts wild game 7 days a week. First bucks in are the first brats out.
In every corner of our state, Wisconsinites feel the impact of a changing climate, from the effects on our crops and livestock to the damage to our roads and highways. That's why Governor Tony Evers has a plan to take action and protect our state. It will get Wisconsin to 100% clean energy, lower power bills, grow our local economies, and create more than 40,000 jobs right here in Wisconsin. Tony Evers, focused on doing the right thing for Wisconsin families.
Did you know Master Force has thousands of tools at Menards? Any tool you want, we have. There are hammers, drills, pliers, levels, wrenches, grinders, sanders, compressors, nailers, workbenches, mowers, blowers, chainsaws, floor jacks, knee pads, work lights, fans. And that's just a taste. Come check out the wide range of products from Master Force, exclusively at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see.
Shopko Optical welcomes more insurance plans than ever. Call to book an exam and verify coverage.
A pro athlete is on a mission to give back to the local soccer community.
Tomorrow, Josh Bryder learns about the life-saving habit that he's using to inspire others.
And how long does the 70-degree temperatures last? And when will the rain come in? Tune in tomorrow from 4:30 till 7.
Jim Leonhard is over a month into his interim head coaching role with Wisconsin football, and over the bye week, he laid out his vision for the future of the program. He discussed his plans for the offseason, nutrition, training tables, recovery, you name it, he addressed it. The Badgers approved his plan, and for Leonhard, well, he's confident he can do the job and do it well if offered.
This place has always been about the culture and the players. We have to get back to doing that a little bit better, and want to make sure that we do everything the right way, and hold these guys accountable to what the standards of Wisconsin are. And I know I'm capable of it. I would be excited for the opportunity, and it's fun to get the chance to really affect some change this season.
Jim Polzin and I will have much more on Wisconsin's game against Maryland, their health, and Jim Leonhard's case to remove that interim label tonight at 10 in this week's Badger Blueprint. It's a big weekend for the Badger wrestling team. Not only does Wisconsin open up their season, they'll be wrestling in 3 different duels on Saturday in Jacksonville for the Battle in the River City. And it's much more than just a homecoming for Chris Bono. One of their opponents is Iowa State, the school where he, assistant coach John Reeder, and Austin Gomez wrestled at. Cyclones are ranked in the top 15, so are the Badgers, and it should be a battle.
It's been awesome because it's been on the schedule a long time, and the guys have really locked in, and their focus has been amazing, knowing that they're going to compete against the top-ranked team in the country the first week, and a lot of ranked matchups, and they're going to try to come in and take our heads off. It's a Cinderella story for them to come into my hometown, beat us, our alma mater. Gomez's former school, I guess his alma mater, he graduated from there as well. So they're going to come try to take our heads off.
The Brew City Battle is next Friday when the Wisconsin men's and women's basketball teams play a game at AmFam Field. Today, former Badger Brian Butch took the first shot at the ballpark, but it wasn't just any shot. Butch went to the top of the scoreboard in center field and tried to drop it in from 147 feet. He had range when he was playing at the Kohl Center, but that's a little far.
He's a big fella, though. All right, Tony. Thought maybe he was just standing on the ground dropping it. Big, tall Brian Butch. Let's go to Julian. Final check of the forecast.
Well, the good news is we get another day of 70s, but the bad news is it's going to rain for the weekend. We're looking at rain to potentially interrupt any kind of late-night Friday plans, and especially could interrupt a bit of the Badger football game going into our Saturday morning. Outside of it, though, the dry stretch ahead is still going to be unseasonably mild.
Julian, thank you, and thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6.
Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you back here at 10.